The Scrum has evolved with the rules. There's been lots of changes over the last couple of years, but a couple things have stayed the same. Number one, on offense, fly half must start behind the Scrum. The ball comes flying out too often to leave our Scrum half in a situation where he's in a 50-50 fight with the other Scrum half to win the ball. He can start, fly half's got to start there, and then he can, with timing, run either a drift line to take the ball to try and push it wide, or an attacking line to run closer to the Scrum. Number two, on defense, hooker goes out and to the left. He's got to get out as quickly as possible because his responsibility, if the Scrum half can go blind, is there. And if not, he still has to go out to the left to hunt the fly half to cover that back inside, which allows our Scrum half to go back and sweep. Also, I've added in a bonus shot of an offensive play with great timing from the Canada Scrum half, running a loop back inside. You're going to love it, and I can't wait to see it in action. Fiji's put in against Canada. In 15s, the hooker would have his arms up, and the props would get in nice and tight. Here, Canada's trying to allow Moonlight, their hooker, to get out quickly, so he's going to do the binding. And you can see it's just not quite as tight as a 15's bind would be. Moonlight grabs onto both his props' hips and squeezes everything together to try and get them pushing as one. Couple other quick hitter points here. The Fijian hooker is really rotated, trying to get his right foot as far into the tunnel as possible. You can see his plant foot is pointed to the left and his hips are rotated, jacking the whole scrum a little bit in one direction. The loose head for Fiji has to drag his foot out the same way a flanker would in the 15s game, just to try and get the scrum half, the Canadian scrum half, off of his man a little bit. It does work here. It opens up just a little bit of space. You can see the Canada scrum half does a good job of being in the pocket as much as possible, but he was just a little bit too far. The scrum would have a natural left wheel here for Fiji, and you can see it was about to happen. Canada was driving through, and if that scrum does start to wheel, that forces the Fijian scrum half back right into Canada's wheelhouse. So Fiji did a great job of getting this ball in the scrum and out of the scrum before Canada had a chance to jack it. And Moonlight did do well to get out of the scrum quickly, but just got left for pace. I mean, that's 2i, right? Guy scores a lot of tries. You can see Moonlight had his eyes on the ball the whole time. He was thinking push, 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 but he was also watching the ball to make sure that he escapes quickly. It was good rugby from both teams, but 2i is just too fast. Canada against Fiji. Canada with the ball, put it in the scrum. Timing's critical, so the scrum half lets the hooker know that the ball's about to come in by tapping the ball on the hooker's hand. Even though Canada's trying to run a wide play here, they're trying to stretch the Fijian defense, the Canada fly half has to line up directly behind the scrum. And that's because in sevens, it so often happens the ball just comes flying out the back of the scrum. And the fly half has to be there, otherwise the Fijian scrum half would have a 50-50 crack at the ball. In this play, Canada's running a sexy loop, and the hooker has already retreated 12 meters back from the scrum. He's working his way to get back so that he can come in an attacking line at pace. Hearn does a great job of sucking in the defense, and Canada's rewarded with a 2-on-1 in the middle of the field. So all they've done is run a simple switch, and the scrum half coming on the inside line of the loop is back in the play. It's a nice line, it's a great line, and it's a great timing play. The whole key to it was that the 2-on-1 happened in the middle of the field. I thought that actually, to be honest, the ball was given a little bit early, I thought they had time to let that 2-on-1 develop another step or two, but it definitely worked out in Canada's favor. Watching it one more time. It's great offensive rugby. On offense, we just focus on low body position, make sure we win our own ball. On defense, yes, it's nice to contest. I want to try and steal ball, but realistically, we have to make sure a hooker gets out quickly and get our flat line set up because a scrum is a good attacking position, and we don't want to give up a try on first phase.